This video is presented by Natasha and Rajan. I would like to thank Professor Gomez for giving us such a good opportunity to present a video. And I would also like to thank Professor Gomez for teaching, helping out throughout the semester about the situation, culture, and relationship of Native American within USA. As I am an immigrant, had a very few knowledge about culture, tradition of Native American, and still it's sad to hear that Native American people are deprived from their rights. Still, there are a lot of lands that are encroached by the private equity for their profit and destroying the land with the help of U.S. government. For this video, I would like to quote from a native daughter, Colonialism and Sovereignty in Hawaii by Hona K. Tax, which was which was a written speech at Second Woman of Color and Law Congress in 1990 in Stanford Law University. She quote, "Our historic situation of oppression places us in a position where forming common ground with the non-natives, especially Haole, means that we must suppress our true sentiments." Which she meant is that uh, whenever the law need to be made, that should be based on the Hawaiian culture, and there should be more participation of Hawaiian natives rather than only Haole people. Haole means white people. I also feel like most of the immigrants and their children are opportunity seekers. So basically, they move to new places with the new opportunity, and they don't have any connection with the land, and which meant so the native people who are living there like before like 2000, 5000 years ago have created a tradition culture on that land. They flourish the land, and from the land they get the reward as a fruits and different other sources. So they have like really a tight connection with the land, which can never be eliminated from these people. So it'll be really hard for native people to move to another places, leaving their land because they have a ties with the land where they were brought up. I think the non-native the relationship native things with the non-native uh, in a relation of difference as to respect each other in differences rather than creating a one community. I think they like to celebrate diversity rather than living in the modern dreams of American life. So, as a non-native, we need to respect the voice of Native American people. So, rather than forming a new group as a one, we should support the native groups. What we should help and support their claims. So most of the native are environmentalist activists. So they want to protect the environment, and as a non-native, we should help them to protect the land, nature, rather than making a profit from those lands. Yeah, thank you. And next will be talked by Natasha. Thanks.
Thanks, Rajan. I'm going to be pulling a quote from the video Living on Ohlone Land, Building Reciprocity with Indigenous Communities. So, in this meeting, Karina Gold said that we, as human beings of this land right now, are the bridge between the past and the present. So, this means we must use our knowledge from the past to influence our experiences of the present to make a better future, because relationships are not just a means to an end.
For the Ohlone, their history is a bit more complicated because of three phases of colonialism. First by Spain, then by Mexico, and finally by the United States and the annexation of California. Because of this, the Ohlone identity is not officially set in stone, as most of their history has been erased by colonialism. Therefore, when Karina is saying that she is bridging the past and the present, she is acknowledging her ancestors and what they have done to share their information, to share her identity with her, and then to continue carrying her identity to share it on to next or several more generations. So by recognizing the past, it's also a recognition of all the people who came before you. Then, for white people and other settlers, it is very important to look back on their own history to acknowledge how they benefit from the oppression of Native communities, come to terms with this to change their present and the future that is to come. However, relationships are more than just recognizing one's past and working together to create a better future. Karina also states later in the same video, how do you come and be guest on someone's land? This is an important question for many of us are settlers. Many Native American communities share a tie with the land as it is their relative, and many of them perform ceremonies connected to the land. Therefore, land is very important to Native identity, and without it, many cannot pursue their religious or ceremonial practices. To be a good guest, then, is to learn and understand about Native communities rather than centering yourself. Relationships, then, require respect, understanding, and support from both communities.